Okay, not sure this is worth recording, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways. See how it comes out. I got a buddy, just bought his son, it's probably been a couple months ago, his son his first knife, a little spider coat it looked like. And I'm gonna make him some denim micarta out of some old jeans. And in case they want to make some custom scales together, have a little father-son project. I made one out of these same pants for this little big Benchmade turret, which was kind of my first real knife. Here are the standard G10 scales. I just really wasn't feeling that. I tried dyeing them blue, and, and it didn't do much of anything. Sat in there for quite a while, but anyway, they're over there. Here's the denim. It changes when it gets wet, hot, sweaty. It's a little better grip. Not a perfect fit on this. I had to channel out for the Omega springs, and it was fun to do. Of course, I wasn't recording any of that, but anyway, I'll make some more of this micarta. I do not have a pressure vessel, so there is a bit of porosity. It's porous in here. Still using epoxy resin, so it's pretty hard. Seems to be fine. Maybe one day, but anyway, let's cut this up and processed out the rest of what was left for the jeans. Make some really nice shorts for later, right? So now, seeing as they both have spider coats, which seem to be a little wide, I'll probably give it 3 or 4 inches per knife and just make like a 8-9 inch blank and layer it up to get a good enough thickness that they can work with, shape, do whatever they want. If they plan to. If they don't, they can use it for something else, but you know who you are. And I think it would be a pretty fun project with your kid, with your boy. So anyway, now I'll measure that out, cut it up. I'll make it in one big blank, and then pour the standard resin. It's what I have left from the camper build too. Eventually I'll have to buy more. I went through quite a bit for the camper, but anyway, layer it up, wet out each layer, and make the blank. I've got these made up for the other one. It's just some blocks that I was using for something else that I covered in masking tape. I'll clean them with a little alcohol, and then have one underneath, one above, and lay a kettlebell on top. Apply a little pressure. Like I said, it'll still have some air bubbles in it since I don't have a pressure tank, but I think it comes out pretty decent. It's definitely workable. So let's get going. Alright, went ahead and just made up 2. One for each blank. Plenty big enough. They can do what they need to with it. Shape it down. 8 layers a piece. Should be more than thick enough. Maybe too much. Hopefully you don't have to grind down too much like I did on this one, but these were thick scales. So yeah, we'll mix up some Totalboat and saturate all of the layers. Sandwich them together. Put a weight on top of it and let it sit for a couple days. Then we'll give it to them. There's never enough resin. I ran out at a bad time on the camper, and it wasn't so bad on this one. So I've got this other one I need to do, but I'm out of resin. This was 5 ounces of just Totalboat 5-to-1 2-part epoxy. Works great, love it. And about excuse me, a little over 4.25 by almost 8 inches of usable once it's said and done. To do that amount, 8 layers of cut up jeans. So we will get it covered. And we're not going to do a whole lot of clamping. We're just going to put this 35-pound kettlebell right on top. Moving too much. Let's see if we can do this without it sliding all over the place. I might keep it there. Little mini anvil for leather working. Hold it from sliding. After watching about every one of Peter Brown's videos, he did all the trial and error. So actually me and my daughter watch it all the time, but he did the trial and error for me, so I kind of learned from his mistakes on trying to clamp this stuff up. It worked pretty well the first time for the Benchmade. Hopefully it'll work pretty well for this one, so we'll come back in a few days and hopefully have something to give him, and maybe some more resin to make up another one. Stuff's expensive, so might have to wait a little bit on that one. Okay, so it's been a few days. Let's open it up and see what we're working with. There we go. One, I forget what we said, 4x8 or so, piece of Make Micarta. Should be big enough, maybe for 2, at least for 1. And then if I get more epoxy, I'll make these. It really sandwiched down nicely though, so I've high hopes that there's not a whole lot of air bubbles or anything in it. Kind of like my first round. I don't know if you can see them in here, if it'll focus just using the phone, but there are little holes in between the fibers of the jean material where it just didn't really penetrate, and it would have with a pressure tank, something to push the epoxy in. But I mean, it still feels really nice, and if it gets wet, it'll kind of change colors, darken up, and get a little more grippy, like micarta. So anyway, got this piece, and I think you know who you are. It's coming your way. Have fun.